Video for assignment 12, we're going to go ahead and take a look at the different question types that you're able to put into your Google form. We've picked right up where we've left off in our test form here, and now we're going to go ahead and move about. We're going to move about within the questions mode like we had talked about last time. This means that we're actually editing the form itself. And I'm going to move down to my first question type. And by default, every time you create a new form or when you create a new question, it's going to start out as a multiple choice. Before we move much further, let's actually take a look over here at this menu on the right side of our first question. And at the top, we've got the plus sign, which is the button you'll be using the most. This one actually creates a new question for you. Below that, we've got the title and description, which allows you to separate different areas of a test, or sorry, of a form. If you wanted to create an area for addition, you might start with a title and description, and then add some addition facts. You then would add another title for subtraction, or something along those lines. I was able to create one right here that just jumped in, and I don't really want it, so what I'm going to do is utilize the delete function. And that'll get rid of any question or really anything that I've added to my form there. Below that, we've got the ability to add an image. And just like we've seen before, this will allow you to put a picture in so you can have a visual or a graphic organizer or something that you'd like your students to look at. And you have the same options as far as adding an image into your form. I'm going to go ahead and close that out. Below that, we have add a video, and you can actually add a video, a YouTube video, to any of your questions, especially if you wanted to do a multimedia response, or if you found a great video and you'd like your students to pick out the main ideas. The idea is you have the ability to add all sorts of multimedia components as well. At the very bottom, we have add section, and what that will really look like is a new page as your respondents are taking your form. So if you had a 20 question form, you can break it up in question groups of 5 by adding a section. So what that would look like is you would add your first 5 questions, then choose to add a new section. Now that just breaks it up. Nobody really likes to take a 20 question long form that you have to keep scrolling down, down, down. It just breaks it up. It makes it a little bit easier to take, but you can also use it if you have different topics you want to discuss or that you'd like input on. Well, moving on to the question types, what I'm going to go ahead and do is just start to create my first multiple choice question. And how are you? Below, your answers are ready to be edited, picking option 1, highlighting and deleting it, and then you can add option, okay, add option, which generates a new answer, bad, and then you can always use the add other if you'd like to solicit information that you didn't think about. And that'll give your respondents the option to add something that they would like to add. On the right-hand side of your answers, you can always delete those. And you can also, as I look over here on the left-hand side, where my pointer becomes kind of a crosshair or a little more across, you can move answers up and down if they're not in the right order that you like them in. When you're done with your question, you can go to the bottom. If this is a question you'd like to have required, simply choose the required and toggle it on. That way your respondents can't move forward until they've actually answered the question. Right, if this is a question type you'd like to repeat, you can actually duplicate the question over and over. That way it'll save you some time if you're going to be using the same answers or if there's something that's going to be consistent across all of the questions. When you are ready to move on and make a new question, go to the right-hand side with the menu, and we're going to go ahead and add a question. By default, it's a multiple choice. Well, we can click on this pull menu and take a look at the different choices that you'll have access to when creating a form. Short answer would be a 1 or 2 word answer, filling in your name, the capital of Alabama, whatever very short answer you'd like to add. A paragraph question is the same idea. It's an open response question that will prompt people to give more information when they see a paragraph box rather than just a very quick short answer box. Short answer and paragraph are each open response questions. Below, we've got multiple choice, check boxes, and drop-downs. Each of these are selected response questions. You will be required to add answers for your respondents. These each can be set to auto-grade if you choose to use the quiz feature that Google Forms now has. You'll be required to check a correct answer in order for you to utilize the auto-grade function. Below, we've got linear scale and multiple choice grid. A linear scale could be considered like a Likert model, where you're trying to gauge your response or attitudes of people. It's the typical, how do you feel, 1 through 5, 1 being good, 5 being bad, or however you want to set that up. But the idea is you can track attitudes. The multiple choice grid is one where you can collect information about a specific topic in a little more detail, and I'll actually go through creating one of those quickly just to see exactly what it looks like. The date and time are each questions that you can put in and have respondents put in a particular date or time. This could be something you would use for conference scheduling, or another question where you're trying to figure out what's the best day and time for a few people or a whole population of people that you're working with. Well, the short answer I'll take a look at quickly. We'll just go ahead and click on that one. And this is good. What is your name? Very quick, very to the point. And the short answer text will appear right here. Next, we'll do a paragraph. Oops, I'm sorry. You can actually change the question type as you move forward. I'm going to go over here to the add a question. And we're going to now choose a paragraph. Tell us a little bit about yourself. This is a good time to actually scroll to the top, and let's preview what our form is beginning to look like. So when I push preview, it's going to generate the form in the actual mode that your respondents would see. So we've got the name of the form at the top there. It also indicates which questions are required, so folks will know why they have to answer the question or which questions they have to go back and answer. Here is our multiple choice, including the other option. Here is the text answer. Here is the paragraph answer. And here we've got a little bit longer of a detail, so it hopefully will prompt people to tell a little bit about themselves. At the bottom, you'll remember from the first video that I chose to show respondents the progress. This is actually the bar that you will see. Because it's only one page, people will see that they are just about done. If you were to create additional pages, like we had talked briefly about, and we'll explore in another video, this will show how many pages they've got to go. Well, I'm going to go back up to the upper right-hand corner and choose Edit Form, so it goes back to Edit. But you'll also notice at the top, if you're using Google Chrome, it begins to create different tabs. These tabs, right now, are the exact same form that we're working in. So you can start to eliminate those as you see these tabs starting to creep up. Okay, I'm back into Edit Form, back into the questions, so I can continue editing. This time I'll add another question. And because I was actually highlighting the first question at the top, it inserted this question at the very beginning, and that's okay. I'll show you how we can move that around in just a moment. Checkboxes and drop-down are very similar to multiple choice. The checkboxes just allow you to check an answer, as does the drop-down, which is more of a pull menu. Do you like drop-down menus? Yes. No. Because I accidentally put this question at the top, I actually want to put it towards the bottom. And if you see the little handles, or the 6 little dots at the top of the question type, that means you can just drag it down. And I'm dragging this down to the very bottom. And just like that, I'm able to reorder the questions. I'll move on. I'm going to go ahead and choose a new question type. And this time, I'm going to explore a couple of the ones at the bottom. Linear scale. just like I mentioned, measures attitudes. So 1 to 5. 1, I'm going to scroll down and label, not at all, and 5, love it. This way I get an idea on how people are feeling about this particular topic. I'm going to go ahead and add another question. And this time I'm going to look at the multiple choice grid. Now I have an example that hopefully will kind of make this clear, but then we'll also look at it in preview. So the question will be, what time works best for daily 5? The rows and the columns allow me to create different areas of information. So my question is, what times work best for daily 5 for a classroom? And my rows are going to represent the days of the week, and my columns will represent times that ELA might be taught in the classroom. So 8 to 9. Now I'm going to go up to the top of the screen, and let's go ahead and preview this so we can actually see the we can see the scale. There we go. So we can see the scale, and so we can see the grid as well. The scale is just measuring the attitude there. So the question is, how do you like form so far? And you can tell me, if you're in the middle, you would be a 3. If you're loving this tool, you would be a 5. Below for the grid, you can see how this actually works out. And in terms of collecting more specific information about this daily 5 option, when would the best time be? If it's the best time every day, every time, you can check those, or you can then begin to check different times for different days that work best for you. Just another option that you can add as you're starting to create your Google form. I'm going to go ahead and either press the Edit button or go ahead and close the Preview tab, and I'll go ahead and leave and finish up the last couple of questions. I'll add another question type. This time we'll make it the time. And I'll add one more question type. The date. The question can really be, what time are you available for a parent-teacher conference? What day are you available? And as I scroll up to preview, we can see what this will actually look like. So we've got our multiple choice, and for the sake of time, I've skipped over the checkbox and the pull menu. We've got our short answer, we've got our long answer text, we do have our drop-down menu, we've got our scale, our grid, our time, and our day. And these just can be filled in manually. 1 o'clock. And the calendar will actually give you a mini calendar to choose a day. And then you can have your respondents push submit. Now that you've seen how to make these different question types, your first assignment is going to be to create a Google form and insert each one of these different types of questions into your form, just so you give yourself an idea of how to put them in, what kind of information you might be gathering data about, and who knows, maybe you'll try one that you would have tried and it was the best thing you ever did. Our next video will take a look at how we can add some additional features into a Google form to make it just a little bit more robust and take us from the beginner to the advanced.